Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your night to join me. I really appreciate it. If you're not already a subscriber, consider subscribing. It takes just a few seconds of your life, and it helps out the channel so much. Also, to returning viewers, hit the thumbs up. If you like what we're talking about at all, in any even sort of small way, I'd really appreciate that too. It helps the channel grow a whole bunch. And so I got to remind myself of what we're talking about because this has been a whole thing tonight, and I gotta eat. And so we're talking about donating food, and let's just treat this as a digital diary entry excerpt, and that's fine. We'll improvise. We'll go with that. And I say this because what I want to do is not forget what we're talking about. Obviously, you know what I mean. That's the first thing, is to not forget what we're talking about during the impromptu video. I like people being able to see how I sort of naturally react to these situations that I put myself in. You feel me? Because obviously I put myself in them. I attempt to try and navigate through them, but sometimes I'm just over it as well. So, like, for example, I do, and this is great. This is for the video. This is now the fourth time in 90 seconds that I forgot about what we're talking about. And again, making the videos in sequence and just having to sort of come up with the content as we're doing it can be a little challenging. So now that my brain is in order and I do remember the topic for this video, let's talk about how, as a part of the digital diary excerpt, in the future, instead of seeing 4 or 5 views on this particular video, let's say in 6 months, there's 50,000, 60,000 views on a conservative estimate, right? For all the videos that we've made from this tonight and previous. You feel me? I'm interested in wanting to know about what y'all's opinion is on the best way to donate food. So here's the thing, like, I think that direct donations are always the best. I think that anytime you're trying to be like philanthropic in any kind of a way, direct to the person that needs the help is the best way to do that. I truly mean this. Oftentimes, because lost in translation and or corrupt and or money disappears, I feel like, with people when you donate to certain organizations or ideas that can then be turned into actual things that are going to actually help people. The fastest way to help a person that needs help is to directly help them. Again, I don't even think that there's like, that's very common sense to me. And so I'm interested in learning about what you guys think about, how donations direct to people are, what, like, if that's a good idea, or if you guys think it's a better idea to outsource, and that leads me into the next part of what was going to be the video before it turned into the digital diary thing, and that is food banks. I like the idea of food banks, and I had made a video about an open letter last night, and Mr. Beast was the subject of the conversation. He himself, when asked about food banks, had mentioned specifically that the difference between his food banks and other food banks and like the models that he had seen in that region of the country where he's at, that North Carolina coastal region on the East Coast. It was very, and again, because he's younger and stuff, and I bring this up because he ultimately said that like his food bank was better than the other ones because ultimately and simply put, they gave away food to people that people actually would eat. And that's my big problem with food banks, and that's why I don't like donating to them, and that's why I would love to see them like just dismantled. Like, I like, seriously, you talk about like corrupt, bureaucratic, sort of stagnated, people that are doing nobody any good. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. It's the people, for example, in my case, over at the New Mexico Roadrunner Food Bank. These are the same organizations that get money, buy terrible food, hire terrible staff, and then expect to feel some type of, good person kind of vibe way when they walk out of work on their 40-hour work week every week, when in fact, hunger is longer than just 40 hours in your week. You feel me? One. And two, it's important to, if you're going to work with people and donate food, that you give people what they want and not things that are just what you don't want. Because I understand that one person's junk is another man's treasure. Like, I feel that. But as it pertains to food, um, I think that it's, again, like insulting to have entire multi-million dollar operations run in states that go into neighborhoods acting like they're doing somebody a favor when in fact they're just giving people a bunch of garbage. Like, seriously, like I worked with some of these volunteers at the New Mexico Roadrunner Food Bank, and they don't even understand, like, volunteers, like why are we feeding people this stuff? Like, I would you eat it? Ask an employee at any food bank if they would eat any of the food that they donate, and tell them to be honest with you about it. Because I would safely assume that 8 out of those 10 people would respond with a resounding no. And again, when 80% of the people that are serving that population, what they're not, what they're refusing to eat themselves, like, how is that good? Like, how is that, like, it's not. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. It's an insult to the people who need to eat. And so, getting back on the positive side of things, that's, again, so I want to donate food as a person, as a channel. I feel like feeding people is important. I feel like it's vital. People going hungry is like the first step. Obviously, food and housing is like, the first simple steps to take care of our fellow human beings. You know what I mean? And I just think that anytime that, and what else did I want to talk about? Oh, but I just think that anytime organizations, no, I'm not going to try to lie on that one. I did forget exactly what we were talking about again. It's just like the seventh time. But donating food and reaching out towards ideas and stuff, that's something that I want in the future for the channel to do. Always, always. I always want to try to feed people. I always want to do that direct to person cause, like donation like that. You know what I mean? But just thought I'd share some of my food bank frustrations with y'all too. It's been a pretty good day. I appreciate all the new subs and viewers. It's been wonderful. I meant what I said in my last video. Person on the other end watching this video, the notification meant a lot to me. And it's been a very long time. And if I'm wrong, then we can just all speculate until the day that we die, because that's all this is speculation. And to assume you know anything at all about what I'm talking about and not being that person, you would be correct, because there's just one person that would know what I'm talking about in this entire planet. And if that person so happens to be watching, again, for real, thank you. I haven't heard from you in so long, and it was very, very nice. So I hope you guys have a good night, and that's all. So until tomorrow, thanks for the new subs, thanks to the viewers. Have a good night. Bye.